Hey Spartans, how you doing, and welcome back to another video. And today we are talking about Manor Lords. Oh, for fuck's sake, I've said it already. Today we are talking about Manor Lords. That is correct, ladies and gentlemen, Manor Lords. And now, as the title of this video suggests, could this game be one of the most realistic medieval games of all time? And well, from what we've seen already, the chance of that is looking pretty good. Now, I know what you're going to say. Oh, Warrior, you get so easily excited about games. And yeah, you are correct. But this one looks a little bit special. In fact, it looks phenomenal. So I'm here today to explain why that is the case. Now, I'm not going to go into loads of information about all the features of the game, etc., because I could be here for hours if I did that. So I'll leave that for you guys to find it out for yourself. But what I will do, I'll give you a little bit of a helping hand, and I will link in the description all the different platforms you can go to find out more about the game. For example, Twitter, Reddit, Discord, etc. So essentially what Manor Lords is, it's a medieval real-time strategy game with the element of city building in it. So basically it combines organic city building with large-scale battles. What more do you want? So if you love Total War, which a lot of you guys will do on the channel, like myself, and love city building, then this is a match made in heaven. Ever since I played games like Settlers 2 for example, and Age of Empires, I've absolutely loved that genre of games. And then to add in the element of strategy, large-scale battles like Total War is just awesome. And the way the game looks so far is really, really promising. We may as well address it now, because I know a load of you will ask about this in the comment section, and that is, when is the game coming out? Now, I spoke to the developer. He goes by the name of Slavic Magic, and by the way, he is a really nice guy, so approachable, really happy to talk about the game. I went to him and said, you know, I know a lot of guys will ask about this. When is the release date going to be for Manor Lords? Because we've kind of got an idea at the moment that it was going to be early access in fall of 2020, which is starting around about now. But obviously we need to be realistic here, and he's even said that may be pushed back possibly into 2021. And I, for one, aren't disappointed about that, because I know games like this, they take a long time, and we'd rather have a game that looks good, plays good, and operates as it should do, as opposed to a game which is a mess. So maybe early access will come this year, who knows. But yeah, more realistically, 2021, give the guys some more time to get it right, and then we can enjoy a much more playable game when it is released at some point. So let's just, you know, hold on to our horses and possibly expect a later release date than we originally thought. Now, right off the bat, I have got to commend how phenomenal this looks, considering that most of this game has been done by one person, Slavic Magic. It literally has been done by himself over the last 3 years. So to see what we are seeing right now is quite frankly staggering. Now, some of the things have been outsourced, like motion capture and voice recordings, etc. Now, obviously, looking at the game, I thought I'd better ask him, has he had any experience with Total War? And in fact, he has. He used to do some modding for Rome Total War. I used to play it a lot back in the day, so obviously you can see those influences creeping in to this game from the Total War series. Now, originally this game was announced back in July, and that's when I first found out about it. But earlier this week, we had gameplay, an actual gameplay trailer released to us, and we really got to see how the mechanics and the game is going to work as a whole, and that's why I'm making this video now for you. Now, Manor Lords aims to provide a gridless, organic city building experience with full freedom of placement and rotation of buildings, and I love that. It means that you can create your own town that is truly unique to how you want it to look. No other town will look the same. You can put your own personal touch on it, and that is fantastic. The fact that you can create a road and make it curve around the landscape to just fit exactly how you wish it to do. and then place a field right next to that road, which will fit nicely to curve around the road itself. So no gap, or it doesn't look out of place. It just fits nicely where it should do. That is superb. It really does add to that creative freedom. Now with these type of games, there's a little bit of a bugbear for me which can happen, and that is the fact that when you have enough resources to construct a building, select that building and then place it where you want to on the map, and boom, it will appear instantly. And I hate that. It's kind of lazy for me, and of course Manor Lords does not do that. You will see each building constructed bit by bit, timber frame by timber frame, stone by stone, and I love that. It's so immersive, it's so realistic, and it's great to see. It gives you that feeling of fulfillment when you see a building as it's constructed in its different stages. I love it, absolutely love it. So the game isn't set in a particular century. Every building though obviously is inspired by historical references from kind of the 11th to the 15th century of Europe. And the building mechanic is motivated by the growth of real medieval towns and villages, where major trade routes and landscape often influenced how the settlement shaped and developed. Now what's a fantastic feature about regions in this game is the fact that each region is specialised in a certain tradable goods. And as you develop and enhance your town with the development tree, that will further improve those goods, and that will make it that merchants want to come to your town more, because obviously these goods that you've got are so lucrative. Obviously then will increase the amount of money you have in the treasury. And that's fantastic, because if you think about it, in medieval times, each region, for example in England, would specialise in a certain type of goods, and so that is really great to see in this game. Think about it, it was the backbone of how this country produced its wealth. Wool, agriculture, cattle farming, mining, salt, and the list goes on. Loads and loads of stuff that was specialised in the country, and that's exactly what it's like in this game as well. So in the game, fields must be ploughed by a team of oxen, iron bloomed in a bloomery, the sheep herded on the open pastures governed by the lord of the manor. As I said, this game really focuses on the realism and the attention to detail and immersion of medieval Europe. The seasons pass, so the weather will change, and that will affect how trade is in the game, how your resources are produced. So as you can see, there's a kind of a pattern here where every little bit of detail is really focused on within the game itself. Now the diplomacy looks really good in Manor Lords, because obviously with that you can start to talk to other lords and ladies across the realm and increase your influence as you progress. Make deals with them, make connections with them, discuss terms, put in place agreements that will help build your town and improve relations in a lot of ways. So that looks to be quite an in-depth kind of mechanic to how the game is going to be. Now, the trailer did show us that there's going to be some sort of tax system as well in the game, and the way you have to manage that is going to be really important. And it's kind of alluded to the fact that if you give some of this to the church, that will give you influence in the game. Now for some games, all that I've mentioned so far is kind of considered enough to make it a game on its own. But now let's add in the fantastic element of large-scale battles. So basically, it aims to portray battles that feel real, with large-scale unit formations, morale, flanking, fatigue, weather and equipment that will all come into play. That element of total war being brought into the game wonderfully. So obviously with that in mind, tactics will take effect. You have to position your troops wisely. Even a small force can beat a large one if commanded well. And there's going to be 3 classes in the game when we're looking at recruitment. So the first is going to be militia. Obviously, as you can imagine, militia, that's going to have an impact on the town, because you're taking workers, men that are, day-by-day labourers in the town away from their normal jobs and then bringing them into the army. So that's obviously, as I say, going to have an effect on your town as a whole. Now, obviously, they're going to be lower tier units. They're going to be ill-trained, have poor weapons and poor armour. However, there is going to be training fields and archery ranges in the game, which will then obviously improve those militia to be better, more organised and have better weaponry as you go. But then obviously after that you can improve further in the second tier with having mercenaries. Obviously mercenaries, better units, obviously trained for war, better equipment, but at the same time money is involved with those guys. And then finally you've got Lord Retinue. Now they're going to be obviously the most advanced in the game, I believe, so they're going to be higher tier units, which will obviously come, I would imagine, from higher tier buildings. So you've got those three categories with the kind of military aspect of the game in terms of recruitment. Now it says here, from the notes I've got here, that cavalry, fortifications, units on walls, gunpowder and siege engines, including trebuchets, are a work in progress and will certainly be present in the final game. So the fact that we're seeing both of these kind of games being merged into one, I think that's why this has been so well received so far. The amount of hype that is building up behind this game is quite phenomenal, and I can easily, and hopefully you guys as well, can easily see why that is the case. For anyone like me and you guys who are probably subscribed to the channel for Total War, this game seems too good to be true in a way. We've never seen a game quite like this, have we, before? Of course, I mentioned earlier on the fact that the game is going to come out at some point, maybe this year or possibly next year. In what state that is going to be as well, we've got to question that. I wouldn't expect it most definitely to be the final build of the game. It's most likely going to be early access. So when that is the case, hopefully I can get that out to you guys and record it so I can show it to you on the channel. But when it is going to be early access, you've got to obviously remember that things will be a work in progress. In the fact that some features or some mechanics and things that will be included in the final game won't be there and present in the early access build of it, obviously. And I've got to say as well, and I haven't really mentioned this already, but the game visually looks fantastic so far. This is done on the Unreal Engine 4, I believe, and again, you know, let's bear this in mind, this is early access, so it could slightly improve from now until the game that we get to actually play. But it looks wonderful, looks so realistic, as you can see in the trailer that I'm showing to you as well at the same time as the gameplay, the trailer that was released earlier on in the year. You can go hunting as well in the forest and the woods. There's so much to do in it, and the fact it looks so visually pleasing as well makes it even better. So that's it, guys. That is where I'm going to leave things for today. I wanted to give you an overview of Manor Lords, so hopefully I've done that for you. But if you want to go into more depth about it, then as I said, check out the links in the description. Find out as much as you want about it. Hopefully this video has done what I wanted it to do, which is to give you a bit of excitement, to build up that hype for the game to come out later this year or next year. And as well, if you didn't know about it, now you do. Obviously, when this game comes out in early access, I will definitely be playing it on the channel. That is a certainty. But I think there's going to be more gameplay trailers coming out later this year to focus on other specific areas of the game. For example, I think there's going to be one video solely about the military aspect of Manor Lords. So I'll be sure to cover that in a separate video later on down the line. But I'm genuinely excited, really excited about this game. Probably the most I've been for a long time. I just can't wait to get my hands on it. It looks so promising. Hopefully it will live up to the hype. From what we've seen so far, that looks like a good, very good possibility. So yeah, let's hope as time goes on we get to see more of it, and then when that early access comes we can really get hands on with it and see what it entails. So thanks very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and until next time, take care and farewell.